Hi, hello, how's it going? And are you ready for some spooky books this vlog? So, I say spooky books. I'm going to be reading thrillers, horrors, fantasy. That is my gist of spooky. And there are some of these books which I have in front of me, and you can't see them at the moment, but there are some of these books in front of me that are kind of bordering on those genres that I've just said. The TBR for this spooky Halloween vlog is massive. Will I get through all of them in, say, 3 vlogs maximum? I have no idea. But you bet I'm going to try. So, I'm just going to turn the camera around and show you how many books I've got. So, this is the current situation. That is one stack. There is another stack. And if we turn this way, we can see it better. You can see the third stack. There's some manga in there as well, and I've just realised 2 volumes of manga aren't in any of those piles. They are on the shelf. So I need to add those 2 to the TBR as well. So some of them are significantly shorter than the others. Some of them are just chunky, and some of them are manga volumes. So a good ratio there. I also have audiobooks as well. So let's get started and pick the first one that I'm going to read. Remember I said that I needed to add 2 volumes of manga to the TBR? I've got 2 library books that I need to add to the TBR as well. So, the 2 library books that I'm also adding to the TBR is All About Pumpkin by Nisha Farol. I think that's how you pronounce your name. But, I mean, doesn't the cover scream Halloween, autumn vibes? All About Pumpkin. Going into this blind, I have no idea what that is. And look at the orange sprayed edges. I don't know if the lighting's doing that any favours, but yeah. Love that. And this one, kind of fantasy, kind of Shakespeare retelling, because it's a retelling of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, but within a game. So that is kind of on the borderline of fantasy, maybe. I have no idea. But I thought, hey, it's in a video game. It takes place in a video game. It's not actually real. So it's in another dimension. So I'm counting this. Don't come at me. I'm counting this. So there we go. The other 2 manga volumes are the first 2 volumes of Vampire Nights, which are also going to be included, but I think I am going to start All About Pumpkin. That is going to be my first book for this spooky time. So let's see how I get on. I am 52 pages into All About Pumpkin. This is not what I expected at all. This is actually a 3rd book in a series, and it's narrated by one of 6 siblings, including a baby boy whose nickname is Pumpkin. So that's where the pumpkin comes from. But Bluebell, who narrates the storyline, loves film. Takes after her dad, who's currently filming with the eldest sibling in New Zealand. He's MIA, whatever you want to call it. The mum is struggling with the remainder of the 5 children, so the 4 eldest get shipped off to Devon with their grandma. And in the process of being in Devon, they meet Sky and Ollie, who have just moved in a mile away from their grandma's property from France. And we have also found out why Bluebell is kind of on the edge, kind of anxious, afraid to take risks and stuff. Because she used to be a twin. And I won't say anything else because I think I've said too much already. But I'm about 52 pages in, and I'm going to take a break from that, and I'm going to read something else. I'll let you know. So it's Friday, and I've done it again. I haven't been keeping up with the vlog and the books on my TBR for this vlog. I have been reading, but none of them I have finished. The ones that I have finished have got absolutely nothing to do with this vlog. So, the ones I'm currently reading is Alexane 6, 12th Night, All About Pumpkin. What was the other one? All About Pumpkin. Oh, and Flood and Fang. And nothing's holding my attention. That's probably why I'm being so slow. And that's probably why, another reason why I haven't vlogged anything. Not only that is that I had to get a product up because it went live yesterday. And I need to start thinking about marketing. And completing another one in time for Christmas. So busy, but that's life. Yeah, a little bit disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. So, do I just make this into a bumper long vlog instead of a weekly one? Who knows? But the next update will definitely be when I finally finished one of these books on my TBR. Oh, for some weird reason I'm glowing, which could be my toner and the whatever it is that I took my makeup off with, which I can't remember the name of the product right now. But yeah, anyway, I can't really move that much because my phone is plugged in and charging. But anyway, I am here to basically say I finally finished a book on the TBR. I have finished 12th Night. And the Amazon review that I did was basically entitled Slow But Worth It. And I thoroughly stand by that. Because in the beginning, I found Vi, as she goes by, V-I, the Viola. Her actual name is Viola in this novel. And I found her very annoying in the beginning. Or very irritating at the start. Everyone calls her a bitch. Just for kind of standing up for what she believes in and for kind of speaking her mind, possibly a bit too much, I will say. But somebody once told me that if you don't speak your mind, then you're just being passive through life, which is not great. So basically what he was trying to say was it's better to speak what's on your mind than keep it in and explode, I guess. But I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a limit. You don't want to speak your mind and say, oh, you look ugly today. That's incredibly unkind and very unpleasant. Which is what Vi was kind of sort of doing. She wasn't that direct, actually. But nearly everybody was calling her bitchy. She loses friends or people who thought she were friends. And actually, she challenges the societal way of how a woman or a young girl should be behaving. And the traditional being of a young girl is played out very well, I might add, in I want to say Antonia. I could be wrong. But then as I started reading through the book, I suddenly realised there isn't much relevance to Twelfth Night, apart from the fact that Viola and Sebastian, they are twins, belonging to a single mother who does dating advice blogs. And I guess you could say Viola does disguise herself through an online game, telling somebody else, the Orsino character in this book, who's actually called Jack, also known as Duke Orsino. She isn't Vi. She actually goes by her brother's name, which is a bit weird. But so actually that kind of makes sense to the original Shakespeare Twelfth Night. So she kind of takes on her brother's persona throughout the game. But as I kept reading, there were more links to Taming the Shrew as well, because I think at one point Vi is also described as shrewish anyway, but Antonia is definitely the Bianca. Always follows the rules and blah 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 blah. And actually Bianca in the traditional Shakespeare does kind of go, not completely off peak, but she does kind of become a little bit more rogue as the play goes on, which kind of happens with Antonia. Not so much, but she basically kind of realizes that, hey, just behaving to societal norms is kind of crap. So she kind of goes back to her best friend who's always been there for her. And Vi eventually realizes that the person who's always been by her side is her twin. Her twin's always been by her side. So, and she sort of forgets about that. Which I guess kind of like the missing twin kind of aspect. Not literally missing, he is there, but unconscious missing maybe, that Vi doesn't realise until like a big game tournament, which I know they definitely do them for Pokemon games and like the Pokemon cards. I don't know whether they still do them for Pokemon cards, I'm not sure, but they set up one in their high school for the 12th Night online game. Yeah, so this one I ended up rating it on Amazon. I rated it 3 stars. In my app though, I rated it 3.5. Because yeah, it was slow. Vi was very irritating, and just the way some people spoke to some characters. It wasn't just Vi, but it was also the Olivia character. Her storyline was really interesting, especially with the fact that she could be bi, not just heterosexual. And actually both girls were working that out, which was very interesting to read actually. But that comes later in the book, so that took a long time to get there. Yeah, so I ended up enjoying it more than I expected. It was a bit of a slog. I think it could have been a little bit shorter, if I'm being honest. And the realization that of Jack realizing that Cesario, the character that Vi goes under when she plays this online game, his realization could have been a bit sooner, I think. But I guess sort of relevant to the traditional play. They don't find out until who everyone is until the very end, even though at some points it's blooming obvious. So yeah, I don't know. 3.5. I'm still settling on 3.5 stars, but I ended up enjoying it in the end, so can't complain. And I've been talking about this for 7 minutes. So I have started another audiobook, which I believe is called Trick or Treat. I've just started it. Cozy mystery. And so far, there's a lot of arsons happening of Georgian, Edwardian, Georgian houses, which people think they should be knocked down and build more tourism and stuff, because the seaside town relies on tourism. But Lucy, on the other hand, who is a central female character, is just like, why would you want to knock one of these beautiful houses down? It just needs to be restored. But then one of her friends, rightly so, says, but it will cost like millions to restore this, and that is correct. But I also see Lucy's point of view in saying, why would you want to just bulldoze this thing? I am going to stop talking now because I've been talking for over 8 minutes, and I will next update you when I have either finished reading something or started something new.